Hello again. Here we are for another scriptural study. Well, many this weekend are giving thanks, especially if you are a Canadian, with the annual and age-old tradition on this holy day and now known as a holiday called Thanksgiving. Keep in mind, Yahuwah has set apart days in regards to his appointed times. Mankind has created holy or holidays. And if you are an American, it will be coming up very soon as well. In fact, many other cultures at the same approximate time of year will be engaging and practicing in many such man-made traditions of giving thanks. But what if this world tradition was intended originally to keep you away from truly having an attitude of gratitude in regards to who and what we must be thankful towards, let alone why? As always, place this YouTube video on full screen and stop the video as you see fit during scriptural passages that are being shared, let alone other details, to get the true and full value of this presentation. On the surface, Thanksgiving seems like a harmless enough observance. However, the surface ice is very thin. Lurking in the murky depths below is a variable lake of paganism awaiting the unsuspecting participant. The harvest home, Christmas, and Halloween all have rituals in common that date back to ancient Babylon and Semiramis. Many of the foods on Thanksgiving tables were a part of pagan worship, and one food in particular was rejected by the early Puritans as being unfit to eat at any time. Read how Thanksgiving is an inferior substitute for the true feast of ingathering set apart by our Creator Yahuwah as part of His set and fixed calendar to teach mankind about the incredible human potential awaiting each and every one of us. Please refer to the website link attached in the visual by the author John D. Kaiser. It is highly recommended to research this link before reviewing the rest of this YouTube video. For this YouTube video, though, we will not entirely focus on the many pagan, man-made rituals that surround Thanksgiving. Instead, this subject matter will focus on the main source of who and what to be thankful for. Yes, we firmly believe that we have much to be thankful for. But we believe that heaven truly knows just how much we actually should be thankful for, let alone who we should be thanking, and as well what to be thankful for. Unfortunately and not surprisingly, the world is no longer aware of who we must be thankful to, let alone what to be thankful for. So let us ponder, do these age-old customs truly produce an attitude of gratitude? And why, as we can clearly see, the world's version of Thanksgiving is not producing the fruit of the Spirit. Is it because these traditions and customs are truly superficial? And why Mark in chapter 7 guided us to avoid this pagan feast as well entirely? Let us view and ponder further. Is the world held hostage to a spirit of thanklessness and an ungrateful mindset? No one would argue today that based on the everyday news updates, that societies around the world actually show there are countless examples that people indeed are not thankful, despite the continuation of these age-old man-made traditions, such as Thanksgiving. After all, is not the intent of these traditions that surround Thanksgiving designed to remind us all of just how thankful we ought to be? Allow us to share why we believe the majority in the world are incapable presently of giving true and proper thanks. This belief firmly exists because people are not aware first and foremost on who to thank and what to be thankful for. How can we say this, you might ask? Very easily, we might add, with the present condition of the world and the actions of those in it. Allow the word to explain further. Why did Mark the Apostle state what he did in chapter 7? Allow me to read a small excerpt from this book and chapter. And in vain do they worship me, teaching as the teachings, the commands of men. Forsaking the command of the Almighty One, you hold fast the tradition of men. And he said to them, Well do you set aside the command of Elohim, the Almighty One, in order to guard your tradition. If you have read the recommended article from the website we shared in the previous visual, you will fully understand why the world does not know who and what to be thankful for, because the traditions of men always originate in and from the Babylonian mystery world religion. But in this study, we are going to explore 4 other topics as well in this scriptural subject matter on why the world is lost on who and what we must be thankful for. The first topic that Scripture shares much about is the fact that we need to look at how people spend more money each month than what they bring in. This causes debt. With the world economies on the brink of total collapse, one does not need to be a rocket scientist to figure out it's about to pop. We can easily put 2 and 2 together here and see the underlying cause, which basically is greed. Our Father in heaven, the Almighty Yahuwah himself, clearly warns that the greedy of gain will not be permitted in the coming reign. How do we know this? In the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verses 3 through 5, it states, But whoring and all uncleanliness, or greed of gain, let it not even be named among you, as is proper among set-apart ones, neither filthiness nor foolish talking, nor coarse jesting, which are not fitting, but rather thanksgiving. For this you know, that no one who whores, nor unclean one, nor one greedy of gain, who is an idolater, has any inheritance in the reign of the Messiah and the Almighty One. Considering this self-inflicted debt crisis, the next question becomes, do people who spend themselves into oblivion show thankfulness? Or do they have a present contentment for the blessings they presently have acquired? The answer to both of these questions is clearly no. This discontent obsession of buying things with money that is not theirs is highly practiced today. Many societies are not only spending well beyond their means, but are actually stealing their children's futures. Some believe the U.S. alone has spent 7 generations of children's future yet born. Since when did this type of greed, which has produced debt levels never before seen in human history, look like a practice of being thankful? How can this be a characteristic even of being thankful? These many wantons of buy now, pay later has spiraled out of control. This is the common norm today, soon to reach a point of no return if we haven't already sped by the point of no return. Sooner or later the people will pay, and what a heavy yoke it shall be. This ideology of wanting more and more even when you cannot afford it is to be a sign of weakness, not thankfulness. This is a clear indicator that those folks that are very discontent and not thankful for the present blessings that they actually have. Why such a disrespect and unthankful action towards our futures, let alone the future of our children? Could it be it is because most have truly forgotten and are no longer aware of who to be thankful towards, let alone what to be thankful for? Again, this ideology of idolatry, of wanting more and more even when you cannot afford it, is truly a sign of weakness and certainly not a sign of thankfulness. Again, this is a clear indicator that these folks are very discontent and not thankful for the present blessings that have been bestowed upon us. Why such a disrespect and unthankful action towards our futures, let alone our children and their futures? Could it be because most have truly forgotten and are no longer aware of who to be thankful towards, let alone what to be thankful for? Some say we are not thankful because we have forgotten who to thank and what to be thankful for, due to the majority not giving any credit to our present blessings and where they come from. As such, many more believe why the majority in the world do not respect past history, let alone scriptural history, that lets us know where our blessings truly originated and provide us the proper guidance to know who and what to be thankful for. The second scriptural topic of who and what we must be thankful for is this: obesity. All around the world, obesity is at an all-time high. How can this be when our food products are increasingly labeled to give consumers valuable information? Each label shares the caloric, sodium, and different types of fats that these foods contain. Taking the time out to read these labels, one would think, would benefit consumers greatly. Yet it seems way too many people simply are not thankful for what they have. Even when most are aware of the dangers, they still continue to consume what is not good for them, let alone more and more of it. This definitely is not a sign or characteristic of being thankful. Allow us to share further. The habit of overeating is very unhealthy. Simply eating the wrong foods also leads to all sorts of diseases. For instance, diabetes, cancer, strokes, and heart attacks. The majority is well aware of this. But again, once man-made traditions like Thanksgiving come into play, people give it their best effort to obtain these diseases by indulging in gluttony. Add in the rest of the man-made traditions like Christmas, along with New Year's Eve, and then right into Easter, folks will do it all over again. The scriptures have much to say about this. In Luke chapter 21, verse 34, it states, "And take heed to yourselves, lest your hearts be weighed down by gluttony and drunkenness and worries of this life, and that day come on you suddenly." Overindulgence with food has become a very serious addiction. Is this behavior a sign or a characteristic of thankfulness? Of course not. In reality, this is very disrespectful and an unthankful action in regards to taking care of the blessings of your body. Clearly, many have forgotten and are no longer aware of who to be thankful towards, let alone what to be thankful for. Sadly, the next and third scriptural topic we need to consider is very alarming. Divorce. Divorce is at an all-time high in which 1 out of every 3 marriages fails. Some say 1 out of every 2. Can this action be construed as a practice or a characteristic of thankfulness? Of course not. Marriages today have become like products bought over and over again. Planned obsolescence is the methodology of the day, in which the thought process becomes, if you are not happy and are thankful with what you already have, get another one. This ideology has now spanned out and applies to getting a new spouse. Forget the vows of "to death do us part." Nowadays the norm is just to trade in the old one, like some old junky car. The Word tells us the following in this subject matter. "An overseer then should be blameless, the husband of one wife," as we read in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. Many ask, why such a disrespect and unthankful action towards our original loved ones? Where is the joy in characteristics such as loyalty and faithfulness? Where have these gone? Is the future of a loving mother and a loving father intending to become one through loving children at stake as well? Again, the same question. Could it be that these things are because many truly have forgotten and are no longer aware of who to be thankful towards, let alone what to be thankful for? And the final and fourth scriptural topic is the ever-increasing and record-setting drug and alcohol practices and its associated addictions. Are these signs and characteristics of people being thankful? Of course not. Anyone that is attempting to escape at this extreme level of danger to themselves and or others is not someone who is at peace. People who cannot find peace cannot understand how to be thankful, let alone experience it. No one argues this. Why such a disrespect and unthankful action towards ourselves, let alone others around us? Again, could it be it is because we truly have forgotten and are no longer aware of who to be thankful towards, let alone what to be thankful for? Let's read on. Clearly, it is really easy to test and prove why people in the world are incapable presently of giving true and proper thanks. Please understand that these 4 scriptural topics shared are not the disease, but rather just the symptoms. Again, it is extremely simple. If you do not know who to thank and what to be thankful for, how could you ever be thankful? A true thankfulness would eliminate the pain and strife as contained in these 4 topics just presented. Let's expand on this thought further. Let's say someone gave you a gift, but you did not know who gave it to you. In all fairness, could you actually be thankful towards that person? In truth, you couldn't, because you didn't know who gave you the gift. Receiving the gift still would be great, but you could not give thanks to the one that actually gave it to you. Okay, let's expand on this even further. Someone I knew sent out an Apache blessing and prayer. As beautiful as the poem was, it did not leave you with anyone specifically to thank, let alone what to be thankful for. Nowhere did the poem and its blessings explain and or provide where and or whom these blessings would come from, let alone why. The following scriptural passage captures what is going on here and why the world is in so much strife. The Apache poem of blessing is just one of many examples in history and archaeology on how the world and its belief systems, through its world religions, robs people on who they must thank, let alone what they must be thankful for. The good news, when heard and is proclaimed, utilizes Elohim, or the Mighty One or Mighty Ones, in regards to the title of Yahuwah himself, our Almighty Father in heaven. And as we can observe from the scriptures, it's poems like these with people and its world religions today that do not esteem Yahuwah the Almighty One himself. During man-made festivals like Thanksgiving, humankind continues to worship creation and not the Creator. This simple truth that is easily tested and proven leaves people all through time wanting and never truly able to be in a position to know who to thank, let alone what to be thankful for. Our Father in heaven, Yahuwah himself, created creation for us. Yes, this is the what we must be thankful for, but more importantly, now we know who to be thankful to for everything and all of our blessings. For there is only one name under the heaven in which we can be saved, as outlined in the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 12. Are you aware that Baal Gad in the Old Covenant is the English equivalent to Lord God in Christianity today? Is it any coincidence that the Muslims call their deity God as well? The Jews do this too. We have forgotten who to thank and what to be thankful for, and as such, why there's only one name under the heavens in which we can be saved. As always, don't believe me, believe the scriptures. Here's an excellent website that can provide further detail on this very, very important subject. Highly recommend that before moving forward in this presentation, you take the time to see the information as contained in this web link. Remember, the facts are this: truth is still truth, even if no one believes it. A lie is still a lie, even if everyone believes it. In the book of Mishlei, meaning truth, changed to Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 4, it states the following: Who has gone up to the heavens and come down? Who has gathered the wind in his fists? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if you know it? Remember, incorrect titles such as Lord and or God are not even names. They are just that, incorrect titles for the Almighty One himself. The correct title for Yahuwah is El, Eloah, Elohim, Elohim, Elion. El means mighty one or strength. Most now spell it with an A instead of an E, which is more correct. Eloah is the singular form of Elohim, has the same meaning as El. Elohim, plural of Eloah, also means rulers and messengers. Elion or El Elyon means the Most High, El. In Hebrew, we have the following breakdowns, and in Aramaic, we have the following breakdown as well. The correct title for Yahuwah, our Father in heaven, is Elohim. Remember, Elohim can be both singular and plural, and thus the reason why it is used in conjunction with the Son's name as well. And what a joyful gift this is! Because when I first read Bereshith or Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 on the beginning of creation, this opened up the beauty of the book of John or Yehukanan, chapter 1 verses 1 through 3. Allow me to explain. In the beginning was the Word. Well, the Word, as we all know, is the Messiah, Yahushua. And the Word was with the Almighty One, in this case, the Father Yahuwah. And the Word was mighty, the Almighty One. He was in the beginning with the Mighty One. That's the Father Yahuwah. All came to be through him, the Messiah Yahushua. And without him, the Messiah Yahushua, not even one came to be that came to be. Now we know who the gift was from, the gift of creation. And as such, we now know not to worship creation, but rather the Creator, both in singular form and plural form. Yahuwah delegated to the Son, the Messiah Yahushua, all the components of creation. Now you know where the gift came from, and now you know who to thank. Here's a visual in regards to what the name, which is above all names, looks like in Paleo-Hebrew, let alone contemporary Hebrew. The name actually means, I am he that is self-existent. Did you notice in the Apache poem or blessing that it left out the Creator's name and the magnificent importance of that name? And let us all reason together. In the tradition of thanksgiving, as it is with all man-made traditions, where do we ever take the time to thank the Creator with his name, Yahuwah himself? And now we know why the Son, the Messiah himself, Yahushua, was so overjoyed and thankful to share with everybody that he came in his Father's name. And he also let us know that we would not receive him in that name, but another would come and another, and the world would accept that. Well, how much more proof do we need why the world cannot understand who to be thankful to, let alone for what? So we have pinpointed who to be thankful to. Let's now explore what to be thankful for. Well, here's the gift of all gifts, and it is embedded in the appointed times of our Father in heaven, the Almighty One himself, Yahuwah. And of course, his Son, the Messiah Yahushua, has already fulfilled the first 4 of the 7 annual feasts or appointed times of his Father Yahuwah. In fact, he will come again to fulfill the last 3 feasts or appointed times. The final feast or appointed time of Yahuwah is called the Feast of Booths or Sukkot. The Feast of Booths is where Thanksgiving originally came from, but once again humankind changed the truth as outlined in Romans chapter 1 verses 20 to 25. and why the world has so much strife, and where it can't find its groove on who to thank and what to be thankful for. It is as simple as that. Many would now state, well, isn't this Jewish? And just another form of another world religion? Well, let's clarify. In the book of Vayikra, changed to the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 1 through 2, it states, "And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, quote, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, The appointed times of Yahuwah, which you are to proclaim as set-apart gatherings, my appointed times are these." End of quote. Think about it. Could anyone claim that the Ten Commandments are from the world religion Christianity? No. They are Yahuwah's and created by the Almighty Father, Yahuwah himself. Think about this as well. Christianity, Judaic belief systems, and Muslimic belief systems all agree and all have the first 5 books of Scripture known as the Pentateuch. But none of them proclaim the name, and none of them proclaim the true timing of the feasts and or appointed times of Yahuwah. All world religions have replaced them with man-made traditions, thus robbing every man, woman, and child on this planet of what to be thankful for. Please study the purpose and intent of the appointed times of Yahuwah. It is for each and every one of us. It is the ultimate gift and lets us know truly what to be thankful for. We will provide further studies in this subject matter, but for now, please test and prove all things for yourself and study the true importance and value of the appointed times of Yahuwah. It is for your very well-being, let alone deliverance. So are you going to allow yourself to remain a hostage to the world religions and its customs and traditions? Again, read the book of Mark, the Apostle Mark, chapter 7, for more detail on this. And now you know why the world remains hostage to a thankless and ungrateful mindset. Man's world traditions and customs are not producing thankfulness. People always find themselves in a position of wanting more and more and can never fill that insatiable hole of ingratitude. So free yourself from world religion. Remember, world religion is an organized system or institution of belief based upon the traditions of men instead of the pursuit of friendship with Yahuwah. And number 2, the act of playing church, exchanging internal truths for external performance, substituting spiritual realities with carnal rituals. Again, save some money, get more rest, find more peace, find more happiness. Come to the world of true thankfulness and gratitude. And here is the true gift on what we can be thankful for. Yahuwah is not a religion. Yahuwah does not have a world religion. Study the way in Scripture. It will be eye-opening. Remember, insanity is believing your hallucinations are real. Religion is believing that other people's hallucinations are real. Just watch the world news nightly. Does world religion benefit society, or is it hurting it? World religions and its associated traditions and customs do not save people. Yahuwah does. Here is a visual of Mars Hill in Athens. Something very amazing happened way back when. And it's captured in the book of Acts, chapter 17, verses 18, and verses 22 through 25. Allow me to share this. And some of the Epicurean and Stoic philosophers encountered him, and some were saying, "What does this babbler wish to say?" Others said, "He seems to be a proclaimer of strange mighty ones." because to them he brought the good news, Yahushua the Messiah, and the resurrection. And having stood in the midst of the Areopagus, Shaul, Paul, said, Men of Athens, I see that you are very religious in every matter. For passing through and observing the objects of your worship, I even found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown mighty one. Not knowing then whom you worship, I make him known to you, Yahuwah, who made the world and all that is in it. This one being, master of heaven and earth, does not dwell in dwellings made with hands, nor is he served with men's hands, as if he needed anything, himself giving to all life and breath and all else. Today, folks, this message sorely needs to be shared again and again, because we have lost our way just like the Greeks did way back when. There is indeed nothing new under the sun. If you read the associated articles as shared in this video, then you will get it. You will understand immediately that the Greeks, as in this example, were doing the same thing we are doing today. You are being called to come out of her. Come out of the ways of the world with its traditions and customs. Isn't it amazing, if not horrifying, that when people read this information and understand it, will still want to remain plugged in to the system? And worse yet, they will even want to fight to protect it. This is horrifying indeed, but an unfortunate reality in this world. So, this is your opportunity to true thanksgiving. After this, there is no turning back. You either take the blue pill and the story ends, or you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and you can stay in Wonderland, and Yahuwah will show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, Yahuwah has set apart days. Men's world religions has traditions and holy days. They are two different things and easily discernible. So in closing, we now know who and what we are to be thankful for, and we truly understand what is true thanksgiving scripturally. We hope these studies are of value to you and your loved ones. As always, we share that we are indeed not teachers. Thanks to many like you that share scriptural studies, we are learning in the way, truth, and life on a daily basis. So yes, let's please continue to share in the name which is above all names, and may Yahuwah continue to keep and bless each and every one of you and your loved ones. All the best, folks.